Hello. So the next step is to find what are the guidelines given by CBSE for preparing your practical files and project work. So let's start. Informatics Practices Class 12 Revised Syllabus. A complete guideline to direct you how to prepare for your practical exams as well as the distribution of marks chapter wise. Now we are focusing towards the practical exams also only. So let's see what are the marks distribution given. Here, as you can see on the screen, total 15 marks, because this is only your first terminal exam practical part. Your practical exam marks that are completely 30 are split into 15 marks with first terminal exam and 15 marks with the final examination. So what you have to do here is you have to prepare a record file, that means a practical file and a project. In the first term only project synopsis, and in finals then you have to prepare the project complete. Now what is to be done in record file? Record file or the practical file means 15 pandas program, all based on the tools that you have learned in your previous chapters, that are pandas library, matplotlib, and importing and exporting files or data frames. So what suggestion given by CBSE is you can, for these 15 pandas program, use paper pen to write those programs, or you can use an online IDLE, that is Colab. And this is basically a very good idea. For this Colab, if you are trying your program on, you do not need to install Python on your system and no setup is required of any IDLE. Okay, so here in this series, we are going to learn how to use that online platform given by the Google. Before this, now let's have a look at what are the suggestions of the practical programs. These are the suggestions given by CBSE. Though if you want, you can use your own program. These programs only should be with the tools that you have already used in Pandas library. Along with this, there is some visualization that should be done with the plotting of the graphs. So what are the programs suggested are creation of series and data frames, analyzing the data, removing the duplicate data, finding out how many rows and how many columns are there in your data frame, complete analysis of the content of the data frame that you are working on is what your list of projects. Along with that, one very important part is CSV file importing and exporting. Means using Pandas library, how to read and write a CSV file. And once you have done that, then the last one, if you can see this, the third one, visualization part, third one. This is the most important I find here. That is, take data of your interest from an open source, aggregate and summarize it, then plot it using different plotting functions of the matplotlib. Here you will be using all your skills you have learned in getting the data from an online source, that is any website. Data frames you can download, you will read them, you going to use your analysis process, the different statistics you can apply on that, and then use matplotlib graphs to visualize the data to get some insight out of the data that you have got. I consider this the last program, as 40% of the project that you are thinking. This particular one carries all the details that you are requiring for your project. Here are some suggestions of the practicals given by CBSE. You can take your own set of programs, or your school can provide you a list of programs all related to Pandas library, then importing and exporting CSV, Excel or MySQL data, as well as the visualization. Now, reading out all these is, this is here the suggestion. First is, for example, creating a panda series from a dictionary. Whatever different sources are there, how you can create a series, creating a data frame, analyzing the data using the percentile, then also using the group by function, using different tools to access a particular part, for example, a row or a column from a data frame, finding out the different dimensions of the data frame, finding and filtering out the duplicate rows from a data frame. Then the important one is the importing and exporting of CSV file. How to import and export a CSV file also you are going to learn into this. See this part, this is 3 programs. Given school result data, analyze the performance of the students on different parameters, right? Subject wise and class wise. So you have to here read a data set, and then you have to use your tools, and you have to present an information that is subject wise analysis, class wise analysis. Similarly, from the data frame created above, analyze and plot the graph. So for these analysis, you have to plot the graph also. The third one I found to be the most interesting one. Using an open source means using a website where you have different data sets available for the study purpose. You can download them. The sites are data.government.in suggestion, you have Data World, you have Kaggle. All these sites carry some of the data sets that you can use for your analysis. So the suggestion here is get those data set, use aggregate and summarize it, then plot it using different plotting functions of the matplotlib. This is going to be an example of complete data science process. That means getting the data, downloading data, after that putting your tools for analysis, finding out insight from that data and presenting the report. This is we are going to do separate. Okay. Now, just see about the project synopsis. Here, project synopsis, as I told you, is nothing but an introduction of what you are planning for your project. Let's see what are the project details given. Okay, so let's try and understand what is project work. The CBSE says the aim of the class project is to create tangible and useful IT application. Means you have to develop an IT application. A real world program you have to explore and create an environment. For this, the learner can take data stored in CSV or database file and analyze using Pandas library or Python libraries. What it means is you have to create an application. For that application, you can get your data using CSV files, Excel file, read out, put your analysis and present your report using matplotlib. Or you can have a database. Database means MySQL. You can have a connectivity with MySQL and Python. You can read out the data stored by the user, and then on that data you have to put your analysis, statistics, and then you have to present it using your matplotlib. So actually either you are using it as CSV file or MySQL. The visualization using matplotlib is what you are doing in both. Only difference here is in CSV we are collecting the data which is stored in CSV, and in database we are using MySQL to connect to. So this is all about your project. In this series we are going to in detail see how we can create a project. But before that, I am going to direct you through your record files. I'll explain you each and every program of your record file. Then how to get the data online, put analysis and the visualization to that. This is what is most important. When you do this, you are going to get an idea of your project, how and what you have to prepare in your project. Okay. So let's proceed with the next video.